You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, woo, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down. Woo!
You are watching the leaders in full immersion gaming, and this is the pregame show only on the NBL Network. What's going on, NBL Network? We are back with Building a Franchise Detroit. Now, see, I was going to start with that just to kind of mix it up. If you watched the show yesterday, you'll know exactly what we were talking about. But this is NBL Live, broadcast number 171. I'm joined alongside Sonny Weaver, hot behind the scenes, pulling the strings, NBL Season 29, Week 9. Feeling fine. Sonny, 171 games we've done. Any standout in particular that you say, look back at all these games we've done and go, man, that was a heck of a game? And do you think tonight's performance might maybe outdo that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've got the NBL Live Game of the Year. We've had a couple of pretty thrilling ones. Obviously, one that stands out in my mind is the 50 burger I got dropped on me to open this season. So that one is ingrained in my memory. And I think we could see another one of those tonight.
Yeah, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers 5-2, the Cleveland Browns, 3-4. The Browns are at home tonight. They're going to meet again Week 16. This is their first matchup of a season of one of the biggest division rivalries in the NBL right now. But first, let's take care of a little business. Web3Chaos.com. Affordable graphics for all your creative needs. Go to Web3Chaos.com or find him on Twitter at AllBusiness, and he'll get you a nice discount. Just let him know that the NBL, the Madden Bomber League, sent you from NBL Live, and he'll hook you up with creative graphic designs, any kind of intros, any kind of videos that you need for your YouTube channel, your Twitch channel, anything that you have, a web page. He can definitely hook you up and get you looking fresh. Now, last night, Building the Franchise Detroit Lions was live. I mentioned that earlier. That was episode number 23. You're going to want to check that out. It's entitled Next Man Up. I'm saying that with air quotes because it's time for the next man to get up. We got Matt Stafford down. We got Harvey Beckham down. We also go over some upcoming rookies. We do a couple scouting, and we do a couple big re-signs. We get Slay locked up. We get Gerard Davis locked up. So a lot of things happening right now mid-season of Season 29 as we are in Week 9. And tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Commissioner Corner podcast hosted by Lip and myself, and Hop also behind the scenes pulling the strings on that one. It'll be 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. You're going to want to check that up. What's the topics we got for that? Hop, just whisper in my ear real quick. I'm not sure what Lip said the topics were going to be. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I got it. Okay, so we got San Francisco 49ers as the main topic. This team is 8-0. Any surprise right there, Sonny, to see the San Francisco 49ers undefeated 9 weeks into the season?
Yeah, that's probably the biggest surprise we've seen so far this cycle. I thought they were trending upward. I was maybe a year or two earlier on them, but I never expected 8-0.
Yeah, 8-0. Very impressive. For the San Francisco 49ers, a young team. They've been drafting high, and it looks like their rookies are starting to come together. They got a new guy at quarterback, and this guy, man, the sky is the ceiling for this guy. The sky is the limit for this quarterback out of the University of Texas. You can check him out on MaddenBomberLeague.com. Started off with a couple little nagging injuries. They got him all ready. He's healthy now, and he's ready to go full thrive, and I'm saying that in my doughboy voice. Let's move on. Players to watch for this game. Ryan Shazier, Pittsburgh. How important is he to this defense, and how important does he have to be tonight, Sonny, to help this team get a win and improve to 6-2?
Ryan Shazier has been the leader of this defense for the last couple of years. He plays sideline to sideline. You see 33 tackles there, 6 for loss. The guy can cover downfield, and that's going to be big tonight as David Njoku of the Cleveland Browns is one of their top targets across the middle. So you'll see a lot of Shazier on Njoku. One thing to note, though, his partner on the inside, rookie Dave Sims, is out. He is injured. So Shazier is going to have to man that middle kind of on his own tonight.
Yeah, that's a big loss for Pittsburgh. But as long as they have Shazier healthy and he's flying around, I mean, you see 6 tackles for loss, 1.5 sacks this season. I know he'd like to get the sack total up, but you notice they haven't been blitzing Shazier as much this season. They're kind of using him in coverage. He's kind of been eating blocks to allow other guys to get free. He really is the engine of this defense. He's the eyes and ears of this defense. He's flying around everywhere, and he's trying to get other guys involved while he's back there playing kind of a role player role right now. Let's see if he gets hot tonight and gets in the face of the quarterback early in this game. On the Cleveland Browns side, they do have a return at halfback, I believe, Sonny. That means I heard the Crow is back. Is it true Isaiah Crowell is going to be healthy and he's going to be starting tonight?
Isaiah Crowell will get the start tonight for the Cleveland Browns. They are still without center J.C. Tretter. We see Myles Garrett is the player to watch tonight, and he very much so is, as Emmanuel Ogbah is out 6 weeks with a ruptured disc in his back. So one of their starting defensive ends is out, and that's why Myles Garrett is going to be so important tonight.
Myles Garrett. So two defensive players are going to be on our players to watch right now. A couple guys in the chat right now asking, Daryl Jones saying, how does one join the NBL? You go to 365.maddenbomberleague.com, hit the application button at the top, and go ahead and fill out that application. You'll be sent into the Grid Development League. They'll call you up when they have a spot available, and basically the Grid works as a filter development league for us. We pull our talent from the Grid, so you get in the Grid, you work your way up, show what you can bring to the community, and when a spot opens in NBL, the guys on that top 5 sheet, they get called up, and they make it to the big leagues, essentially. So that's how that works. Tonight, you notice we're only on YouTube. When you see OSU's pretty face on here, right, Sonny, you're going to be able to see him on Twitch as well, twitch.tv/NBL Network. Make sure you give that a follow right now if you haven't already. That's where majority of our NBL lives are going to be showing at. But right now, this one's solely on YouTube, just like our exclusive content, Building the Franchise, Highly Debatable, and any other 4 Verts podcast that we have come out when we interview developers throughout this Madden cycle. Predictions for tonight. Let me see where the chat's at right now. Titan Rod saying Browns 27, Steelers 24. Wow. That's an upset to me. The Hound saying Steelers 34, Browns 24. So he's going with the Steelers. That makes a little bit more sense to me. Pricey saying Steelers 31, Browns 23. Hop saying a blowout, Steelers 42, Browns 17. So with that, big shout out to Doris in the chat. Thanks for continuing to support the NBL. JY saying Steelers 28, Browns 9. Joey Mandel saying Browns 31-27. So it's a mixed bag, Sonny. I know your feelings on the Browns and them saying they're top 5. They're overlooking you. But can you get over that and say they get over the hump and beat the Steelers, who arguably have been a thorn in your side for so many Maddens? Where do you see this game going?
Well, it wouldn't be a Sonny Weaver comment unless I point out I have beaten both these teams this year. In my opinion,
and the Lions.
Yeah, you had to plug that.
I don't want you to forget about me.
In my opinion, the Pittsburgh Steelers offense will not have any issues moving the ball here on the Cleveland Browns. I don't think they're going to get pass rush without Emmanuel Ogbah. Myles Garrett is good, but they're going to slide to that side. They're going to protect Big Ben, and I expect the Steelers to blow out the Cleveland Browns 42-20.
42-20. We're getting some more predictions in the chat. The moderator, T. Porter, big shout out to him. And how bad have the Redskins looked? I told them we were playing Fortnite earlier. I was going to give them a big shout out. They have looked pathetic. The 49ers, 21 points from their defense against the Redskins. Wow, and the Redskins, they're going to tank, man. I feel it coming. I think the Giants kind of get above them. But he says Browns 21, Steelers 20. Jamie from the Grid says Browns 27-24. So we're getting some Browns predictions, Sonny. If that happens, you consider that to be an upset?
Yeah, obviously, I think that would be an upset. I think the Steelers are firmly planted as the number 2 seed in the AFC behind the Chargers. To lose this game would put them at risk of possibly losing that division.
And Joey says, when does the game start? We're about to start right now. Let's head out to the field right now. Sonny's going to be doing the play-by-play. I'll do the color commentating, and Hop behind the scenes pulling the strings. Well, guess what, Hop? It's time for you to pull some strings.
The NBL Network, and you're watching the MBLN Network.
Empty backfield for Atkins. He's been dropping back to pass here on 4th down. He is looking, deep over the middle. He has a man, it's Brandon Cooks, who catches it, makes a man miss!
Oh, that's
Woodard is dropping back, he's got open over the middle.
Wow. That big playmaker ability as he finds him again.
Into the end zone. Another touchdown.
Welcome everybody to MBL Live 171. I'm Sonny Weaver. Alongside me tonight is the man himself, Bomber, and we've got our good friend Hop up in the production booth pulling the strings behind this scene. Now, Bomber, 5-2 Steelers, 3-4 Browns. On paper, this one looks like it should belong to the Steelers, but a little bit of a rivalry here. What do the Browns have to do to kind of turn this season around and get a win here tonight?
Yeah, first of all, when you have two division teams going at each other like we have right now with the Browns and the Steelers, anything can happen. We've seen divisional games kind of play a lot closer than the regular standings actually show. So when we got a 5-2 team versus a 3-4 Browns team, you think Steelers are going to walk away with this? I say not just yet. I think the Browns kind of do, but I think for hang in the game, that is. But I do think Pittsburgh comes away with the win. In order for the Browns to hang in this game and not allow themselves to get blown out, they have to control the clock and get the crow going early.
Well, it looks like Cleveland is going to come out with good starting position, and that's where we're going to see starting quarterback Jameis Winston here tonight. And Bomber, Jameis Winston's really made a big impact here on this team. Last year, they make a deep run into the playoffs. This year, not such a great start, but how big of a deal is Jameis Winston to this offense?
Oh, he's a huge deal. You know, when you decide to go out there and bring a guy like Jameis Winston and from free agency, sign him to a long-term deal, we're talking a 4-year, $64 million contract for the man from Florida State University. You got to make sure he comes out and produces, and he's done that this year with a 108 QBR.
And Jameis Winston finds Zach DeMonch on first down for a 19-yard gain up to the 50-yard line here for Cleveland. So they do come out slinging here to start the game.
Yeah, nice throw right there. And you're going to see that. You're going to see high activity in the passing game, looking to get deep down the field against what they feel is a weak Steelers secondary.
So Winston's going to set up here in the I formation. Crowell in the back, dropping back to look downfield. Drops it off underneath to the fullback, Slater. Slater down 5 yards on the play, down to the 45-yard line. Actually, they're going to give him 4 on the play, setting up 2nd and 6.
Yeah, I like the improvement from Winston. From his first year with Cleveland, he had a 100.2 QBR, 20 touchdowns, 17 interceptions. This season, 8 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So we're seeing a lot more ball control from Jameis Winston under center for the Cleveland Browns.
Going to be Isaiah Crowell's first handoff, and that is not going anywhere. It looks like TJ Watt there on the stop. Now we're looking at 3rd and 7 here for Jameis Winston and the Cleveland Browns.
You get in trouble here, Sonny. 3rd and 7s. I don't consider 3rd and 7 to be manageable. It's kind of on the long end, in my opinion, to a 3rd down. It's definitely a passing down, but I think they should probably stay with the run here. When Steelers defense looks good, it's when they get you in a situation where you have to pass and they're able to play the pass and they use their fast corners and they jump the ball.
Starting center J.C. Tretter is out. Pass rush has been an issue here for Cleveland as far as keeping Jameis Winston safe. He's in the shotgun set. It looks like Duke Johnson out to his right, dropping back to throw here on 3rd and 7. Drops across the middle to Njoku. Njoku gets hit, and it's going to be dropped. It looked like he had it, but the safety comes down and lays a big hit, and that's going to force a Cleveland punt.
Yeah, David Njoku, 17 catches, 274 yards, only 1 touchdown, and he's been pretty much sure hands for these Cleveland Browns. You want to know how many times he's dropped the ball this season?
Yes, I want to know, Bomber.
This would be number 2. So this is a guy that usually holds on to the ball, but it goes back and plays. That Pittsburgh secondary, while they may not be as skilled in zone coverage, they do have a safety that flies around, and he can make big plays, but both of their safeties are big hitters.
And so taking the field is the legend himself, Big Ben Roethlisberger, here on the 20-yard line. It's going to be an I formation. It's going to be a handoff here up the middle, break to the outside to the 20-yard line. Ronnie Hillman, 1 rush, no yards there. Le'Veon Bell is out tonight, so that's going to be a big impact here for the Pittsburgh offense.
Yeah, Ronnie Hillman on paper doesn't look too bad. I mean, he's got the attributes. He has the speed, the agility, the acceleration, and you feel like he can get it done on a short sample size, 7 carries, 39 yards this season. He is averaging 5.6 yards per carry.
So here we go, 2nd down. Ben in the backfield, Hillman to his left. It's going to be trips to the right. It's going to be a handoff to Hillman again. Big hole up the middle and down to the 25-yard line. Looked like that hole may have closed a little quicker than what Hillman thought.
Yeah, Ronnie Hillman, I'm just happy he hung onto the ball there. This is a guy who struggled carrying the ball early in his career, had a lot of fumbles. He has only had 1 touchdown in the last 4 seasons. Since this Madden cycle has started, he's been on the Pittsburgh Steelers for 4 years. The most he's ever carried the ball in a season was 73, which was last year when Le'Veon Bell went down as well. So this is a big opportunity for Hillman to say, you know what? Yeah, I may be 28 years old and I'm on the Madden decline, but I still have a little juice left in these legs.
3rd and 5, motion Bryant right to left. Ben in the pocket, looking downfield, drops it off to Bryant. Bryant makes it to the outside, brought down by Roby, and so that's going to be a first down here for Pittsburgh as they do pick up the 3rd and 5.
Nice tackle in open field by Bradley Roby, a key cornerback that they acquired in free agency. They bring him over, and he's been playing pretty phenomenal for this team early in this year so far. But I mean, how confident would you be with Bradley Roby as he looks to approach his 30s, his early 30s?
I felt like they overpaid him a couple years ago, but nonetheless, he's there and he's making plays, and that's going to be a big reception downfield. It looks like that's going to be the sensation slot man, Howard, and that's a big pickup for 22 yards.
Yeah, if you're new to watching the NBL Pittsburgh Steelers, this probably means you don't subscribe to the channel, so subscribe right now. But what you're going to see is Martavis Bryant, Javier Howard, and Antonio Brown. These three guys are probably the deepest big three wide receivers that we have in the NBL, and Javier Howard shows his skill set right there.
Howard big there coming up for the Steelers. Ben Roethlisberger in the backfield with Ronnie Hillman. Howard in the slot, Brown out left, Bryant out to the right. Dropping back to throw, pressure coming. Ben throwing it deep to Martavius Bryant, and Bryant can't go up and get it. Phillips comes down with the interception, and a big turnover there for Cleveland down at the 10-yard line.
Yeah, I didn't like that throw. I mean, you put Bryant on a go route, you see the press, and you just lob it up to him. I don't know if you can do that against these Cleveland cornerbacks. They are extremely talented, and they are deep to kind of contend and compete with this Pittsburgh Steelers offense. Big Ben, he's having a career low this Madden cycle with the 133.6 QBR. Is this cause for concern in Pittsburgh as Ben ages?
Oh, well, there's a big turnover there. Isaiah Crowell on what's his second carry of the game, and it's a fumble, and so Pittsburgh turns it over, but Pittsburgh gets it right back.
Yeah, a rare turnover from Big Ben. I mean, this is a guy that doesn't turn it over. He only has 4 interceptions. That was his 5th with 10 touchdowns. As you know, he was hurt for a couple games earlier this year. But, man, to get it right back after an interception, that really has to hurt the morale of this Cleveland Browns team.
Bryant motion right to left. Ben dropping back, looking to throw here. Throwing across the middle of the field, and that's caught by Jesse James. And what a thread-the-needle throw there for Ben Roethlisberger between the linebackers. Pittsburgh on the turnover converts it for 6, and now they're looking to go up with the extra point.
Yeah, you can't expect to win this game if you create turnovers and then you just give the ball right back to Pittsburgh inside the red zone. Crowell, I know he's coming back off an injury, but you have to be better than that. Isaiah Crowell is the leading rusher in the NBL. In the NBL, he has a single-season rushing record. You got to be the leader of this team. If you want the carries and you want to be the guy, you have to hold on to the ball, especially in big games like this versus Pittsburgh.
And so now Cleveland coming back out here. They're going to get good starting field position, 29-yard line. Jameis Winston coming out. And so you've got to begin to wonder if Cleveland's a little nervous about giving the ball back to Isaiah Crowell. However, as you mentioned, this offense runs through the running attack. And so we'll see what happens with Cleveland and their offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I'm looking at his stats so far. So NBL season 26, 1,700 yards. That's where he bested the single-season rushing record. You can find that on 365.maddenbomberleague.com. As their play action right now, looking to the right side. Nice throw, Winston. DeManchi. I absolutely love DeManchi, Sonny, as he makes a nice completion on that deep cross from left to right. I think he has the ability to pretty much do anything in this offense. But back to Crowell real quick. Injuries have plagued him from 1,700 yards to 1,000 to NBL season 28. He didn't even break 1,000 yards. He only carried it 153 times. Is injuries really kind of setting back the potential for Isaiah Crowell?
Injuries have hurt Crowell's career so far, and we'll see where that takes him. But as we're talking, Jameis Winston slicing up the Pittsburgh defense. They're already down to the 28-yard lines. They started on their own 29. So Jameis Winston, 2 big 20-plus yard throws, one to DeMontre, one to Corey Coleman. And so now we're at the 28-yard line, and Cleveland knocking on the door trying to put some points up.
Yeah, nice throw right there by Winston. We can't say it enough, but he's looked phenomenal early in the season, slowly getting more comfortable in that Browns uniform.
Going to be handoff to Crowell to the outside, cuts it back inside, tries to truck air again, instead gets upended by the safety, but that's going to be enough for a first down.
I'm telling you, these hard-hitting safeties have Isaiah Crowell spooked just a little bit. He's trucking air, and he doesn't care because you know what he's doing, Sonny? He's bracing for impact because he knows that low-cutting hit stick is coming, and he doesn't want to fumble the ball again.
Yeah, trying to hang on after the big turnover down here just last drive. And Njoku moving out to the left-hand side. It's going to be handoff to Crowell again. Crowell running over the left-hand side, and that's going to be about a 2-yard gain on the run.
I think a lot of times people look at this Pittsburgh Steelers team and think, wow, this team's unbeatable. One thing that I do notice about Pittsburgh that you can do, if you can get up on them and you can play from ahead, you have a much better opportunity to kind of play your style of pace as opposed to playing from behind and you're going to feed right into this defense's hands.
Exactly, and Jameis Winston looking to put him up here as he drops back to throw on the play, motion right to left, and there's a big sack up the middle, and that's going to be Chirfy Gooch, one of the best names in NBL with the sack there on Jameis Winston.
Yeah, I believe Gooch was a first-round pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers a couple seasons ago, and he's still showing on NBL Live. He loves to show out, and he gets up for these big games, and we always seem to bring his name up multiple times throughout the game because he makes plays like that.
Well, and we just like saying his name,
absolutely.
Gooch,
absolutely.
Obviously. Jameis Winston, 3rd and 15 here. Not where you want to be if you're the Cleveland Browns. Duke Johnson in the backfield to his right. Looks like he's got Mitchell out to left. Coleman working right to left, looking to throw downfield, looking out into double coverage. Mitchell goes up, and they're going to say he's out of bounds. He comes down with the ball, but not in bounds. And I would say that's probably not a good throw into double coverage.
Yeah, you're in scoring range right now. The last thing you want to do is not put the points on the board as the kick is up and it is good, and that's going to put us 7-3 Pittsburgh ahead. But imagine that. We just talked about Sonny. I mean, you played Pittsburgh so much. There's a huge difference when you're playing from behind against a team as explosive as this, and then when you're kind of ahead. And when you're ahead, you kind of have them play maybe more of a one-dimensional game. They'll quickly go away from the run game. Maybe that's their kryptonite for the Pittsburgh Steelers, as small as it might be. But the Browns right there risking not coming away with anything by throwing it into double coverage, that is definitely not the answer if you want to beat these Pittsburgh Steelers.
Pittsburgh Steelers, a one of the blue bloods of NBL, looking to extend their lead on the division here. Ben Roethlisberger set up in the I formation. It's going to be a handoff to Hillman. Hillman makes a move to the outside, but brought down by Taylor. And oh no, this is not good news because Ronnie Hillman's down. They're getting thin at halfback.
Yeah, we've seen a little bit of Robert Kelly, maybe more of a power back, 6 foot, 233 pounds. Doesn't have the speed, acceleration, or agility that they like to hit the edge with, but it looks like he's going to be coming in. He has 10 carries on the year with Pittsburgh for 32 yards. That's 3.2 yards per carry. A huge drop-off in production when you bring him in the game.
Well, they're going to go 5 wide without a running back. Ben Roethlisberger getting pressure, throwing across his body, and it looks like Jesse James is going to come down with the ball down to the 37-yard line. It's going to be a first down, Pittsburgh.
I remember that play very well. If you check out the NBL Live Season 28 Super Bowl, that cowboy slants to the tight end went about 70 yards on me and scored. I'm very familiar with that play when I saw it happening, as Big Ben does a great job buying himself just an extra second to get rid of the ball.
And it looks like we're going to get to the end of the first quarter. Pittsburgh leading here in Cleveland 7-3. And so Bomber talked about it in the pregame. Ryan Shazier, Myles Garrett, haven't seen much of either so far. Now, we did see the safety Fournette come away with that fumble recovery by by Pittsburgh. He's been a huge get for this Pittsburgh defense. How important is he to this defense?
Oh, he's very important. He got Rookie of the Year. The ball's out. The ball's out. Picked up by Cleveland. There it goes. Kirksey, whatever his name is. Touchdown number 58. That's going to be a touchdown for Cleveland, so they make up for that turnover early. And wow, Sonny, we talk about playing playing ahead when you're playing against the Pittsburgh Steelers and not playing from behind the entire game. And Cleveland has kind of just accomplished that. They have the lead. Let's see if it kind of changes the way Pittsburgh comes out and plays, knowing they don't have Le'Veon Bell or Ronnie Hillman at this point.
Yeah, and so that is what we like to call a Sonny Weaver splash play there, as that's a big game-changing play from the defense. And so now Pittsburgh fumbles again, and it's a turnover. Bradley Roby with the fumble recovery. And so everything has just come off the rails for Pittsburgh, folks.
Yeah, they always say right place, right uniform at the right time, and that's exactly where Bradley Roby was in that in the special teams. I don't think Bradley Roby's really out there in special teams to make big hits, but he is out there to keep his head on the swivel and pick up the ball, and he did just that.
And so it's going to be play action. Jameis Winston looking down the field, and it's almost intercepted. So off the turnover, the Cleveland Browns trying to take a shot downfield, and the wide receiver can't hold on to it and instead tips it to the Pittsburgh safety. Actually, that's Fournette. That's the guy we were just talking about.
Do they know who Jawara is? The University of Nevada? He was a late second-round pick in NBL season 28. This guy already has 8 interceptions on the season, and they're trying to test him right after getting a turnover. It seems like Cleveland likes to give the ball right back after they get a turnover from Pittsburgh.
And it looks like Winston's going to come out slinging again here on second down. He's running out of the pocket. He's got room to run. He's trying to move upfield, makes a man miss, down to the 10-yard line, and he gets dropped at the 5-yard line. 27-yard rush for Jameis Winston, and that's a big pickup.
You know who that looks like? Who does that look like to you out there?
Marcus Mariota?
Oh, that looks like... Well, did you see an interception? Did we see a pick? It looked like Big Ben to me. That looked like a young Ben Roethlisberger just
Ben
running
doesn't have
upfield.
those wheels. Come on.
Oh, I remember when he has. I remember what he used to look like at his young, spry age when he was about 2.3 pounds lighter. He was always big. He just looked a little light on the toes right there. No, that looked a lot like Cam Newton running right there. I like that from Jameis. If Jameis can use his wheels and put pressure on the defense that way, he really becomes a triple threat. This offense becomes a triple threat.
And off to Coleman. Coleman going for the edge. Coleman not going to get it, but spins back inside. Makes a man miss down to the 3-yard line, picking up 4 yards on the reverse. A little razzle-dazzle down inside the 10-yard line here.
Yeah, you know, you look at this this Cleveland Browns offense, you know when they stall out, they're about middle of the pack in the red zone, and that's where the good teams kind of separate themselves from the middle of the pack. So if Cleveland wants to consider themselves top 5, or they want to be in that caliber level of play, they have to do better in the red zone. Let's see if they can punch this in.
Jameis sets up. He doesn't like what he sees, so he's going to audible the play at the line. He goes to a 2 tight end, 2 wide set. Crowell in the backfield. Stacked box down here, and Njoku on the right-hand side of the line. Winston dropping back to throw. Time in the pocket, rolling to his right, looking downfield, still making his way to the edge, and he's going to run in. And so Jameis Winston with 2 big runs on the drive scores the touchdown. And now the Cleveland Browns are up 17-7 pending this extra point.
I absolutely love Winston's audible out of that run. He didn't like what he saw. Too many guys in the box. He hikes the ball into an audibles into a really nice pass play, and then he's out. He's rolling out. He's looking at Y. He's looking at Y, and then he just looks at himself and he goes, well, why not? And he takes off to that pylon and gets in the end zone. Now they have a 10-point lead. I think when you get up 2 scores on Pittsburgh, you can start to see a more high-octane passing offense, and here comes some opportunities for maybe more turnovers for this Cleveland Browns defense.
Why not, indeed? If you're Cleveland, you've got to expect to turn on the pass rush here. Try to force some bad Ben Roethlisberger throws. As you mentioned, when Pittsburgh gets down multiple scores, that's when Ben Roethlisberger, the gunslinger, comes out, and we'll see if that happens here, especially with Ronnie Hillman leaving the game early with a broken thumb. Robert Kelly in the backfield. Brown to the left, Bryant to the right. Ben dropping back to throw here on first down. Pocket collapsing. Ben gets stripped.
Wow.
Again. And down to the 26-yard line. And what is going on here for Pittsburgh? They have completely melted down in this one.
This has been Roethlisberger, a guy who came back from injury. I believe he was supposed to be out 8 or 9 weeks. He missed 2 weeks this season. So maybe there's some attributes being affected right now. In particular, maybe the carrying is down for Ben Roethlisberger. This guy who has a carrying rating of 66. Maybe it's down from the injury that he's pretty much playing through right now for another couple weeks.
Ben Roethlisberger not playing too healthy tonight. And so Cleveland just with a short pickup there, and now it's 2nd and 7. We're going to see something interesting here, I think, Bomber. Jameis Winston in the backfield with Isaiah Crowell. They're going to motion out C.J. Uzomah to the left next to DeMach. Going to be a handoff here to Crowell. Crowell up the middle. He's going to try to truck, but no going there as he's down to the 19-yard line. And so 7 rushes, 18 yards. Not a lot going for Crowell. He does have 1 fumble on the game, and that's going to set up 3rd and 4 here.
Hey, you notice something about that Pittsburgh Steelers sack fumble that just happened to Ben Roethlisberger? They ran skinny post. The flat was open early, but like we said, when they get down multiple scores, they're looking to drive the ball down the field. Ben decides to hang in the pocket just a little bit longer to see if that post develops into anything, and during that process, he takes a sack and fumbles. If that was earlier in the game, I'm almost 90% sure he hits the flat on the left side of the field.
So Ben in duress has put this team in some trouble. Jameis rolling to the right, and he gets sacked. And that's Anderson with the sack on the play. So Jameis Winston not wanting to risk it by throwing the ball downfield, takes the sack and sets up here for the field goal. And it's going to be snapped, and it's going to be blocked. And that's a big turn of events here for Pittsburgh as they're going to pick it up and be down to the 38-yard line. And what a game with these turnovers right now here in Cleveland.
Yeah, this is probably one of the craziest games I've watched on NBL Live in quite some time. How many turnovers do we have so far total? What, 5 turnovers so far between both teams? Now we have a blocked field goal that potentially almost put it they picked up and scooped and scored. So a lot of activity going on early in this game. And guess what, Sonny? We're only a quarter and a half in to NBL Live broadcast number 171. It's really starting to heat up between these two division rivals.
I suggest you guys subscribe. You can subscribe there on YouTube or head over to our Twitch. Subscribe there as well. So Ben Roethlisberger is going to come out here on this one, dropping back to pass, throwing down to the left-hand side, and Howard makes a man miss. And a missed tackle is an embarrassment there as Howard is just going to prance his way for the last 10 yards into the end zone. And so just like that, Pittsburgh strikes and is back in this game.
Yeah, simple corner route against man coverage. Or did he hot route that guy to an out? Don't remember. Sonny doesn't remember. All right, hot routed to an out. Hit Javier Howard, and he makes a man miss. That's what he does. I mean, this is a guy that built his career and his yards in Pittsburgh. Probably 50 to 60% of his yards are coming from yards after the catch, and you see him work again right there, and you just have to be more disciplined if you're Cleveland. Just take the tackle and not try to hit stick in that situation and give up all those extra yards, and now they gave up some extra points as they're only up 3 now. So a big 10-point swing. You had a field goal that you should have made, gets blocked, and now it's getting back to the races. Pittsburgh scores, they get 7. This is a really wild race right now in NBL Live broadcast 171.
And that's got to hurt for Cleveland as they were just dominating this game. Not only up 3, DeMonch motioning left to right. It's going to be a play action looking, throwing out to DeMonch on the right-hand side. No one out there. DeMonch running downfield, tries to make a man miss, and he breaks. No, he's going to get down at the 43-yard line, and there's an injury on the play.
Play action, FK quick. He ran it. We didn't. Nice throw right there to the sideline as he gets down the field at the 43, and they're approaching field goal range again, Sonny. Cleveland, you know, we talk about Pittsburgh being so, their offense, they're so fast-paced, so quick to score. It's like Cleveland is consistently getting in field goal range and moving the ball down the field just as fast as Pittsburgh does right now.
Well, not moving down the field as a running attack, as it looks like Ryan Shazier is out for the game with a quadricep strain. However, Isaiah Crowell goes down after getting tackled in the backfield, and he's down now. So the injuries piling up for both teams. Setting up a 2nd and 11 here for Jameis Winston.
Here we go, 2nd and 11 for the Cleveland Browns. Watch DeManch. He's wide left all by himself. Let's see if they decide to take advantage of that.
Winston dropping back to throw here. Sitting in the pocket. He has time. Looking across the field. He's going to drop it off to Corey Coleman. Corey Coleman gets dropped at the 36-yard line. And that's going to be a pickup about 5 on the play.
Yeah, see, when you run a couple times as a quarterback, you start putting pressure on that linebacker core. So the linebacker was in zone coverage, but he also started spying that quarterback as he stepped up in the pocket. He had to let the drag route go in order to stay home for Jameis Winston. It makes an easy throw for him, and now they're in a 3rd and manageable, a 3rd and 3 on Pittsburgh's 36-yard line.
And watch Winston's legs here. He has made plays all night with them, and so I wouldn't be surprised if you see it again, as we're going to hit the 2-minute warning here in Cleveland. Browns up 17-14, but Pittsburgh hanging around trying to make this one a game.
Yeah, kind of a weird situation for us. Usually when we see Pittsburgh, they're usually in the driver's seat. Right now, I'd say the momentum still kind of tilts towards the Cleveland side. Let's see if they can keep the chains moving and pick up this 3rd down.
Johnson in the backfield. Crowell out with an injury. It's going to be a handoff to Johnson. Johnson make a play to the outside. Just gets by his guy. Puts the juke on the inside down to the 20. They're going to say 4 line. Another injury. It looks like a hamstring tear for Isaiah Crowell. And so, again, these players dropping like flies. We've seen Ronnie Hillman go out. We've seen Isaiah Crowell go out. We've seen Ryan Shazier go out. We're running out of players here, Bomber.
Absolutely. The halfbacks are really taking a hit today. Crowell just returned from an injury. He's been out since week 5. Now he's out again.
And what a throw down the middle by Jameis Winston.
Touchdown,
There's another injury on the play. This is just mind-boggling right now, as everyone at this point is now hurt.
Nice throw right there by Jameis Winston. Another dot, and that's going to be a big touchdown. We always talk about 2 scores versus Pittsburgh. If you can get up 2 scores, Corey Coleman looks to be out, strained tricep. I didn't catch it. Is that for the game, or is he going to be able to return?
That's for the game. He is out for the game, so Cleveland has no one left.
Injuries starting to pile up mid-season in the NBL. These are 2 teams that really didn't have many injuries. I think 1 injury coming into this game, well, they ain't going to be able to say that when they leave this game. That's for sure.
And there's to it, out with a bruised sternum. So It's basically these teams are going injury for injury at this point. I think both teams are up over 3 injuries on the game for both these teams. So it's going to be a battle of attrition here as we continue. Now Pittsburgh looking to respond after that big drive by Cleveland. Cleveland up 24-14 here late in the first half. Now Big Ben coming out. Robert Kelly in the backfield to his left. Brown out wide. Left Howard in the slot to his right. Dropping back. Stepping up. And he gets dropped, but he gets rid of the ball. They're going to say his forward pass there. It looked like it could have been called a fumble. And that's Myles Garrett on the pressure.
Yeah, Myles Garrett, our player to watch early in this game, getting to the quarterback, finding a way to get to Big Ben. Now, Big Ben, the age that he is, I think he's 38 years old right now. Correction. He is 38 years old. Are we seeing a slowdown of Ben Roethlisberger right now? Does he just look a little less mobile in the pocket?
Well, it looks like they're maybe not as confident in him as they used to be as they hand off to Robert Kelly on second down as they clock is ticking under 2 minutes. But yeah, Ben Roethlisberger just doesn't appear to be quite the same guy we're used to seeing here in NBL.
Yeah, we've seen him take a couple hits today, 2 fumbles already. I think 5 turnovers between both teams and a blocked field goal. We've definitely seen a lot of events happen early in this game.
And that's a sack right there on Big Ben. Myles Garrett, 2nd sack of the day, 3rd pressure of the day, and we talked about it in the pregame. Player to watch, Myles Garrett, coming up big here on NBL Live.
This Cleveland Browns defense, I mean, the Browns might not be top 5, but this defense is looking top 5. What if I told you, Sonny, they came in giving up the 20th most points in the NBL? Not good. Not 20th most. 22nd points they're allowed. 12th highest in the league, excuse me. They're giving up 330 yards total, 255 passing. This defense has not looked good, and haven't looked like they're really living up to the potential that we all thought Cleveland would have coming into this season. But if you take this game alone, if this is the changing point for their season, this team looks deadly. They look very dangerous in just this first half of football here on this live broadcast.
Very dangerous, but very banged up team at the moment, as we talked about today. Lots of injuries piling up here for Cleveland as they try to score here before halftime. Jameis Winston in the backfield, and that's going to get Pittsburgh jumping off sides. It looks like, was that Gooch?
Yeah, it looks like they might have flipped on aggressive a little bit, trying to get their guys to get to the quarterback. We noticed a couple of movements of the defensive line on the previous drive. I think Cleveland and Jameis Winston are onto it now. They're saying, hey, these guys are trying to jump the snap right now. Let's throw out a couple, a little false snaps and just see if we can get the defense to move a little bit, and that's what they got right there.
Winston in the pocket throwing downfield, and it's going to get to Gordon. Gordon missed tackle by Pittsburgh.
Baby!
Gordon running down the field.
He's gone, baby!
10. No one's going to catch Flash Josh Gordon. And now Cleveland going up big here before half against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
You know, I talk about the second half Pittsburgh Steelers early and often. That's Josh Gordon, 29 years old. That's his first touchdown this season. He had 800 yards last year, NBL season 28, only 72 yards. Sonny, coming into this game, and guess what he just scored? A 75-yard touchdown. He doubled his production on one catch and had his first touchdown of the year, so congratulations to Josh Gordon, 29 years old, finding a role in this team, making a nice catch and a nice run after the catch. But those second-half Steelers, they're going to have to come out because they got their work cut out for them. They're down 16 with about a half left in this game. 17, excuse me, with a half left in this game. We got to see a different Pittsburgh Steelers team here.
Yeah, the downfield vertical attack we're used to seeing from Pittsburgh just not happening here. I think maybe a little bit scared after throwing that fade to Martavis Bryant early in the game. Cleveland stepping up big. The players that are stepping in for the injured players. Obviously, Josh Gordon stepping in for the injured Corey Coleman. Big play there. And so the story of the game has been the injuries and those guys that have stepped up, along with all the turnovers we saw early in this game. So now we've got Pittsburgh out here, 56 seconds left, all their timeouts, and Ben Roethlisberger in the backfield with Robert Kelly. Keep an eye on Myles Garrett. He's been disruptive. Ben stepping in the pocket. Garrett coming around the corner. Ben looking down the field, throws it, drops it off underneath, and that's to the 43-yard line. They're going to go hurry up here as Pittsburgh getting the clock ticks away. 45 seconds. Roethlisberger again setting up with Kelly. Howard in the slot. Brown out left. Bryant to the right. Ben Roethlisberger changing the play at the line, dropping back here. He's got time in the pocket. He's got time throwing across the body, and that's going to be Antonio Brown. Brown makes a player miss, makes another one miss down to the 30-yard line, and they're going to call timeout.
Yeah, so we get to see two plays, a little old school connection, Ben Roethlisberger to Antonio Brown, two aging veterans on this team. But man, I like the movement 2 plays ago from Ben Roethlisberger. He steps to the left, steps up, throws on the run, nice throw, and maybe the old 38-year-old's just getting a little loose right now because I said these second half Steelers are nothing to play with.
29 seconds left here in half. Pittsburgh desperately needing a score. Roethlisberger in the backfield all alone, throwing out to the side. Nope, looking back to the left. He's throwing downfield, and that's Howard. Howard puts a spin move on. Flag on the play, and we'll wait to see what that is. And, oh, my Lord, offensive pass interference by Jesse James away from the play, and that's a big penalty for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, things are not going Pittsburgh's way. I mean, early on, you saw their offense look good. Their defense looked good, created a turnover here. But, man, since then, it's been pretty bad for this Pittsburgh Steelers team. They really need to get a little bit more discipline heading into the second half.
Roethlisberger brought down on the play. Myles Garrett, his 3rd sack of the game. And Myles Garrett is a disruptive force in this Pittsburgh Steelers backfield.
Think about running it here, Sonny. 2nd and 23. They probably don't expect a run. Maybe you run, get a few yards just to kind of solidify yourself in field goal range because you don't want Big Ben to take another sack to put you out of field goal range and you come away with nothing on this drive.
A field goal would make this a 2-score game. Roethlisberger dropping back here to throw. He's throwing down the middle of the field wide open, and they go down to the 14-yard line. And now Pittsburgh's going to hurry to the line. I'm surprised they're not going to call a timeout here. Not sure they're going to get multiple plays off. Ben in the shotgun set here, trying to get this play off. They're going to go away, and no, they're going to call that timeout. And what a waste of time there by Pittsburgh.
Yeah, they had 11 seconds left. They burn that. If they burn that timeout then, Sonny, they get to call a play and say, hey, let's try to get something into the end zone. If not, we throw it away and take the field goal. Ben tries to do a hurry up to get another play in, tries to get cute. Doesn't work out for him, and now they're going to try to kick this field goal to put themselves down 14. It's up. It's good. It's 31-17. How can you win if your defense gives up 31 points in a half, Sonny?
Well, I'm not sure the defense is completely at fault there, as the turnovers by Big Ben have been
absolutely.
A big issue here. Now, as Pittsburgh's going to receive the second half kick, Bomber Pittsburgh, what do we got to do here to get back in this game?
Well, you got to slow down. There's still a lot of football left. We don't have to get it all back in one play, but right now you're just down 14. It's just 2 touchdowns. We got the ball to start this game. Cleveland got the ball to start this game. We're going to start it with in the half. So we have an opportunity here to kind of set the tone. Let's score, and then we'll play some solid defense. Whether it's 7 or 3, we just need to get some points on the board to kind of start shifting that pressure back on Cleveland to make them feel like they have to actually do something. Because when Cleveland can sit in that, that run attack, heavier run than pass, that's when they're more deadly. You want to get them into a passing attack offense and see if they can make a mistake.
So they are going to throw pressure coming off the side. Ben throws hot. Ben gets the ball out to Jesse James. Jesse James fights forward for 8 yards on the play. And so that'll set up a second two. Ben Roethlisberger, 9 of 11. Not a bad game so far. Just kind of struggling to hold on to the ball.
Yeah, just those turnovers, getting sacked. You know, the blindside hits, creating fumbles for Ben Roethlisberger. Not entirely his fault. He keeps his head on a swivel, but there's only so much you can do. You even saw on that play, the pressure was there nearly instantly for Ben as he had to get rid of it and find Jesse James underneath.
Roethlisberger dropping back in the backfield, gets the crossing route, and that's to Martavius Bryant down to the 48-yard line. A little surprised with as much pressure as we've seen here from Myles Garrett that they're not keeping extra people in to block. Robert Kelly, not known for his pass-catching prowess. I'm surprised that they haven't just used him as kind of that 6th blocker here in the backfield. Ben's going to set up here again. Kelly in the backfield. And it's going to be another pass here for Pittsburgh. Looking, throwing across the field, and a big miss there by Ben Roethlisberger.
I think that's probably his most errant throw of this game. Kind of gets his feet tangled up on his own self and just kind of overthrows a simple drag, a wide open drag to a slot receiver, Javier Howard. Now, the question about Ben Roethlisberger, is he going to be able to muster up enough juice left and hold on to this ball for them to come back? I absolutely believe so. I'm still confident in my pick of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I just think it's going to come down to some fourth quarter heroics for this Pittsburgh Steelers offense.
Roethlisberger throwing again, all throws on this drive as he's got time, looking downfield, and that's an errant throw to Taylor. Taylor's taking this one back down to the 20, down at the 22-yard line, and this looks like the Pittsburgh Steelers you talked about that get down and start making some bad mistakes as they turn the ball over yet again. Yeah,
usually when you're down 2 scores, and you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, we start seeing a more one-dimensional offense, less running. And now it might not be by choice. It might just be because they absolutely have to. They're stuck with Robert Kelly at halfback, and we've seen Hillman go down. No Le'Veon Bell today. So this is a team that just doesn't have the firepower at halfback to really run the ball very much. But you know what? Cleveland says we do, and we believe in Duke Johnson Jr., and we're going to give him the ball and let him work.
Well, interesting to note, the starting two middle linebackers, Ryan Shazier, did leave this game with a quadricep injury, will not return, as well as the rookie linebacker from this year is out for the game, so they've got backups in there as well. So as Cleveland looks to kind of milk this game away running the ball, not going to get a lot of help on the inside here.
Yeah, definitely not. Not with the injuries that Pittsburgh has. A defense that isn't really that elite in the NBL right now anyways. Now they're hurt, and they're missing their star middle linebacker, Ryan Shazier.
And so Jameis Winston decides to throw it right back to the Pittsburgh Steelers there. Sean Davis with the interception. Not sure what Jameis Winston was looking at there.
Yeah, you got hard, flat coverage. You could have attacked the sidelines. You had the deep comeback on the left side. Instead, he stays down the middle of the field and continually trying to find some kind of throwing lane against these safeties of Pittsburgh, which is probably the strength of their secondary.
Roethlisberger, close eye formation, changing the play at the line, throwing yet again, sitting in the pocket, has some time there, and he does get it off. I paused there because it looked like they were about to give up yet another sack, but Ben Roethlisberger does get that one away. And right now, you've got to wonder what is going on with this Pittsburgh offensive line. Not a bad offensive line, but they can't protect Ben to save their life.
Yeah, Ben Roethlisberger, but he's doing a little bit to kind of buy himself another second or two is right there. You pause for the sack. He stepped up just subtly, just enough as he made 3 reads on that play, found the sit route, made a nice throw, and let's see if Ben can kind of get some rhythm right here and they can get in the end zone.
Roethlisberger all alone in the shotgun set. Kelly flexed out to the left-hand side. You've got Howard wide to the left, Antonio Brown in the slot to the right, Brown out wide to the right. Roethlisberger making a lot of changes here at the line, setting up for what appears to be a passing play. He's dropping back, looking, and he is sacked again, folks, by Myles Garrett. 4 sacks, 5 pressures on the day, and Myles Garrett making his case right now for Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, he was our player to watch for a reason. We like the matchup with Myles Garrett against this offensive line. They're going to move him on the left. They're going to put him on the right, but he's going to continually be trying to attack the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback. They're trying to get the Ben Roethlisberger, and I think they're doing it today. He's already got 11 sacks on the season, Myles Garrett.
2nd and 17 is going to be handoff to Kelly up the middle of the field. He's going to pick up about 3 on the play. Only a second rush of the day ever since Ronnie Hillman went out early in the second quarter. And so now Pittsburgh staring at a 3rd and 14 from the 33-yard line. And it's kind of a big deal they come away with points here. Ben Roethlisberger not hanging on to the ball today. He needs to hold on to it here and ensure Pittsburgh at least comes away with a field goal.
Yeah, you need to at least get a field goal. You hit the nail right on the head. But the last 3 games, Pittsburgh has been sacked over 14 times. This is starting to become an issue in Pittsburgh. I don't think this coaching staff and this ownership is really going to like that number right now.
And Roethlisberger with plenty of time that time finds Howard down the seam, and Pittsburgh with a big conversion on a big 3rd down finds himself just 1 score away from the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, bad defensive call there by Cleveland as they shore up the left side of the field, probably waiting on some type of crossing route, but instead get burned with the seam on the weak side of the field. I did not like that defense from Cleveland at all because, man, you can't throw the ball. You can't allow Big Ben to just make 1 read and throw it 20 yards down the field. You have to play better defense than that. That cover 3 Mabel just shored him up on the left side of the field. They said, okay, we'll seam route you on the right side, and that was just an easy pitch and catch for Javier Howard and Ben Roethlisberger.
And Ben Roethlisberger not having a lot of time tonight, but when he does, he has been electric. And so Cleveland coming back out, nursing this 7-point lead. Jameis Winston under center. It's going to be play action to Duke Johnson, rolling to his right, looking out wide to the right. David Njoku comes down with the catch down to the 37-yard line. That's a 12-yard gain on the play, setting up a Cleveland Browns 1st down.
Now, how good has Cleveland been with responding anytime that Pittsburgh scores? I think that's another thing we have to talk about. To beat Pittsburgh, you have to maintain a lead and also respond to the big plays. You have to go down and make long drives and eat up time and put points on the board, and Cleveland has been able to do that today, and they're in prime position to take this game.
Winston setting up Demonch motion left to right, dropping back to pass on the play. Has time in the pocket, finding Demonch. Demonch dropped at the 48-yard line. That's going to be another 1st down. Cleveland pushing it down the field, picking up 1st downs left and right. And so Cleveland trying to respond after that big drive by Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and going into this game, Zach DeManchi was only the third leading receiver on this team, 16 catches, 285 yards. We're still waiting for that breakout season from this guy. This kid was a first-round pick. He is supposed to be the guy. He was a top 10 pick out of Ole Miss. I expect him to be 1,200, 1,300 yards in the next 2 to 3 seasons consecutively. That's the kind of praise I have for this kid.
Joku with the reception there, and that's another, or excuse me, they're going to say it was a reception. A little slow to move the sticks there, but nonetheless, Cleveland does up to the 38-yard line. And right now, Jameis Winston just kind of carving up this Pittsburgh defense that is definitely shorthanded. Yeah,
if they can get down here and just at least get a field goal in, they stay up the 2 scores we keep talking about, but also they're eating up time, and now Pittsburgh has to play against the clock that's moving before this game ends. So Pittsburgh has to get a stop here. They need to keep them from scoring to keep themselves just down 1 score and allow their offense to try to tie this game up.
Winston going to pitch back to Duke Johnson. Johnson trying to get the edge. He does get the edge. Juke's back inside, and then he's going to get brought down, but that looks like a face mask, and it is. Jonathan Anderson, the backup playing for the injured Ryan Shazier with a big penalty, and that's going to move Cleveland inside the red zone.
Discipline, discipline, discipline. In Pittsburgh, they preach it every single practice, but it's not really showing on the field today. They've looked like a sloppy team. This is a team that went to 2 Super Bowls back-to-back. They won one of them this Madden cycle. This is a team that has 4 Super Bowl titles with their owner. They have to play better than this. They have to be more disciplined to beat this team.
R2 motion right to left. Winston changing the play at the line. Looks like he's adjusting as well, dropping back to throw here on first down. Has plenty of time in the pocket. Big pocket. Looks like Winston's going to take off, running up the field. He decides he's going to slide. 7-yard pickup on the play, and that's going to set up 2nd and 3.
Nice patience there by Winston. He actually probably made every read on that. He had 3 routes that went out. He blocked the inside tight end after he motioned him from right to left. And then he made the smart decision that said, you know what, I'm not going to force it here. I don't need to throw it away. Let me pick up 7 yards and let me get down and put our team in a position to continue to move the chains.
Browns perfectly balanced on the day. 15 runs, 15 passes, now 16 runs as Duke Johnson takes the handoff up the middle, and that's going to set up 3rd and 1 here. And a big 3rd down coming up here for Cleveland as they look to try to go up 2 scores here over the Pittsburgh Steelers as the end of the 3rd quarter nears.
Yeah, 3rd and 1 right here. This is an opportunity for the Cleveland Browns to move these chains and get another set of possessions inside the 10-yard line. They are middle of the pack in the red zone. They've struggled in this kind of tight box with no field behind them. Let's see if they can kind of change that perception right now.
Winston flipping the play, but he's not going to get the playoff here before the end of the 3rd quarter. So we head into the 4th quarter, and what a game we have had here in Cleveland. The Browns trying to hang on to their lead, up 31-24 over the Pittsburgh Steelers, knocking on the door, trying to go up 2 scores. And here we go, folks, to start the 4th quarter. Jameis Winston under center. Back, it looks like Duke Johnson out now here inside the 7-yard line. It's going to be a handoff to Smallwood up the middle, and he is going to convert, and that's going to be a 1st down for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, nice handoff right there. And as I said, continuing to move the chains, 31-24. They have a 7-point lead right now. Do not turn the ball over. No fumbles, no interceptions. Keep it clean, but come away with points. That's what I want to see in Cleveland. I wouldn't be, if I'm the Cleveland fan base, I'm not upset if we just come away with 3. We've made a lot of time off this clock. We've gone on that long responding drive from a Pittsburgh touchdown from a 3rd and long. It's our opportunity right now to take this game and seize the moment here in Week 9 against Pittsburgh.
Seize the moment. Indeed, it's a handoff to Duke Johnson up the middle of the field. They're going to give him 2 on the play. Not a lot of running room here for Duke Johnson in this game. I think he's averaging just around 3 yards a carry. And this Pittsburgh defense, even without their leader Ryan Shazier, hanging in there, staying stiff with the run.
Yeah, especially when they get in the red zone. You know, this is a defense that gets beat over the top a lot. They don't have to worry about that in the red zone, Sonny. They're all playing in the box. They get to play that speed linebacker football that they love to play. Let's see if they can make a play here and keep them out the end zone.
And that is a big run there. Is Duke Johnson. I thought he got it.
Oh, he's got to be in. Down. They need to challenge that. That has to be in. There's no way his knee hit the ground before he crossed he crossed the goal line.
Yeah, I thought he was, and it doesn't look like a challenge is going to come down. So Duke Johnson, they're going to say down at the 1-yard line. They're actually going to spot him about at the half-yard line. And so you get Jameis Winston coming out in a heavy formation. Johnson in the backfield, Slater the fullback behind him. Uzoma the tight end out to the right-hand side.
Big stop for Pittsburgh. Can they get it?
And Winston's going to hand the ball off. It's Duke Johnson, and a big tackle by Pittsburgh. The linebacker comes flying in there. He's going to get the tackle, and they hold him to just a field goal.
Yeah, it looked like Cleveland was a little too scared to pass the ball there, but I would have liked to see maybe a screenplay, maybe a halfback screen, maybe some kind of pitch outside. Instead, they kept all the runs up the middle, and they played very scared once they got inside the 7, but maybe for good reason. This is a team that struggles in the red zone. I already said that they're middle of the pack. They do not want to turn the ball over. You can't afford to turn the ball over anymore against Pittsburgh. Now let's see if these second-half Steelers in the fourth quarter can come down and go on one of these miracle runs in 4.5 minutes.
Well, Pittsburgh has not fallen out of this one yet, folks. At times, it looked like they were going to sink away into the darkness, but yet here they are, only down 10 points. Plenty of time left here in the fourth quarter, all timeouts on hand, but a big drive coming up for Ben Roethlisberger. They've got to find a way to protect him, as he's been sacked 5 times in this game.
Yeah, way too many sacks from Ben Roethlisberger. They got to kind of clean that up right now. Put some people back there to block. As you said earlier, Robert Kelly is not known for having Reggie Bush-style hands and cutting like Reggie Bush can out the backfield on routes. Let's keep them in there and block and protect our quarterback, but instead they're going to spread them out and say, bring the heat. We're going to find the open receiver.
So Roethlisberger in an empty set back here, dropping back on the play. He has time for a change, and he's throwing it down the middle of the field, and that's dropped. Wow. By Martavis Bryant.
12 of 17, 246 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Not a very clean game from Ben Roethlisberger, but that right there was the right read with the right patience, and he found Martavis Bryant. He just can't make a play.
Yeah, Ben Roethlisberger not getting a lot of help today from Martavis Bryant. Targeted him a couple times in the day. 1 drop, 1 interception early in this one. Martavis Bryant not really helping out Ben Roethlisberger. Roethlisberger in the backfield. Bryant motion right to left. It's going to be handoff to Kelly. Kelly trying to move, but he gets tackled in the backfield. And so now we set up a 3rd and 11. And one thing you've got to be thinking if you're Pittsburgh is get Ben Roethlisberger some time. When he's had time in the pocket, it's been one of those situations where he can actually deliver a ball down the field. But so far in this game, Myles Garrett has just been an unstoppable force. 3rd and 11 here. Robert Kelly in the backfield next to Ben Roethlisberger. Jesse James to the slot to the right. Howard in the left. Looks like Roethlisberger going to drop back to throw here. Pressure coming off the left-hand side. He rolls to his right, finds Howard. Plenty of room to run. Makes a move to the inside, outside. Spin him. Oop-de-oop right there. And Howard down the field. And what a catch and run by Javier Howard. And Pittsburgh now, folks, is back within 3 points of the Cleveland Browns, pending this extra point.
Yeah, Sonny, with as bad as Pittsburgh has played this whole game, they're only down 3 with less than 4 minutes to go in this game. You have to say that, 4-time champ, still advantage him.
Interesting. So we get Hop here on the call with us. I'm guessing Bomber had to depart for a second, so we get producer Hop jumping in there. I hope you can actually hear Hop. You never know with Hop and his mic situations, if people can hear him or not. So we're still waiting for those FCC fines from BTF last night. Thanks, Hop.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. My bad. But they can definitely hear me, Sonny.
Okay, well, that's good to know. So now we've got the Pittsburgh Steelers trailing the Cleveland Browns 31-34. Cleveland can't get too conservative here. Cleveland has had some issues so far in this game of turning the ball over after big Pittsburgh scores, and that's led to this game being such a close game. Jameis Winston comes out, Duke Johnson in the backfield there in a close formation. It's going to be a pitch outside to Duke Johnson. Johnson tries to make him a miss. He does, gets back inside, spins moves, gets upended at the 47-yard line. And so now the Cleveland Browns driving down the field here, trying to ice this one away and get back into this division race. All right, Bomber's still not back, so we'll keep this thing rolling. Jameis Winston single back set. DeMonch out to the left. Gordon in the slot to the right. Mitchell wide right. It's going to be a pass here on first down. Throwing it in the middle of the field. And Gordon gets walloped down at the 38-yard line. But somehow he holds on to the ball. And now it does not appear that Cleveland's scared to try to throw the ball. And that's a little bit surprising knowing they're nursing this lead.
All right, so we're looking at Cleveland right now. Big score from Pittsburgh. I just wanted to say, You know, Cleveland's been doing such a great job responding to these scores from Pittsburgh. If they can keep that up right now, and they can even just get 3 on the board right now and go up 6, I think that will be enough pressure. And all they have to do is stop Pittsburgh from scoring. You know, get back in some conservative coverages and drop your guys back and let them work down the field and just hope and pray that Ben Roethlisberger doesn't pick you apart like he has multiple times this game. I think they're in a good spot right now if I'm a Cleveland fan.
Well, we will find out here. As Jameis Winston is under center here looking to throw the ball with the lead as he's sacked down at the 47-yard line. And that's a big play there by the Pittsburgh defense.
Yeah, big sack right there. I think they got a little bit too focused on that slot post. He was waiting on it to develop. There was a lot of guys in the box. I think Winston thought this was an opportunity to get over top of the defense, maybe lead pass one up and over the defense, downfield for a score. And now guess what happened, Sonny? They've taken themselves out of field goal range, which I thought could have been their saving grace. If they could just get a field goal off of this drive to go up 6, I think they would have been a really great spot to win this game.
Now we're looking at a very precarious situation for Cleveland. 3rd and 19. The clock is stopped. Pittsburgh's got all their timeouts. And so you may be looking at giving the ball back to Ben Roethlisberger and this dynamic offense for the win. We will see Motion Johnson taking the handoff. No, it's going to be kept by Jameis Winston. And really weird play call there by the Cleveland Browns. Now they're forced to punt the ball.
The jet sweep is that jet sweep is broke. It does not hand off to the halfback.
Yeah, that was a bad play call.
There, that was going to be a handoff right there to try to pick up a few yards and punt it. But instead it blows up in their face. And now we got a minute 50 to see Pittsburgh if they can. I know they can go down and get 3. I'm worried now. If I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, I'm going, here we go again. You know, we're 3-4 right now. This is a must-win for us. We can't go to 3-5 because we still got to see this team again week 16. This home game was the one we were hoping we could just get this W, and it kind of would be a little bit more easy sailing as we try to strive for that wild card position. But, man, 34-31, you're only ahead by 3 right now. Pittsburgh has 2 timeouts, Sonny. Have you been in this situation before when you were the Bengals and you just feeling, I'm not too confident right now?
I've been in this situation a ton of times against the Steelers offense. Some have worked out, many have not. We will see here as Ben Roethlisberger sets to come out slinging it. Robert Kelly splits out wide to the left. He's in the slot. Antonio Brown in the slot to the right. Watch him as Roethlisberger steps back to throw. Does find Brown. Brown makes a move to the inside, and he comes down all the way to the 46-yard line. 26-yard gain on the play.
Antonio Brown, how phenomenal has he been for these Pittsburgh Steelers today? It just seems like that connection of Brown to Ben has been or Ben to Brown, has been phenomenal. He came in with 19 catches, 289 yards, and 5 touchdowns, but his ability to catch the ball and move after the catch, it's still there. So this guy still has a lot of value to this Pittsburgh Steelers team.
Pressure coming, gets it out to the outside, and that's Robert Kelly's first catch on the play, and it's a big one there as they get down to the 45-yard line. And now if you're Pittsburgh, you got to be careful not to score too quickly, as Cleveland does have all their timeouts, so they are being methodical marching down the field here. Minute 10 left on the clock. Close formation again. Roethlisberger in the shotgun set. Kelly to his right, and it's going to be a handoff to Kelly. Kelly's got room to run on the outside. He's running 30, 25, 20. Tries to make a man miss. No, he's just going to run right out of bounds, and they're going to say he was down inbounds. 56 seconds left in this one, down to the 18-yard line.
How sweet is it that you can be in a 2nd and 1 in a tight formation, and the defense is 100% believing you're going to pass the ball? I mean, that's exactly what just happened for Pittsburgh. They pretty much gave Pittsburgh a 20-yard run because they had no idea that this team would think to run the ball right now. Great play calling by Big Ben and that offensive coordinator. They're on the same page. They're seeing the same thing.
And they throw the out route spin move. Antonio Brown down to the 3-yard line. And oh my God, Hugh Jackson holding his head, unbeknownst to him how this just happened. Their 3-point lead looks to be melting here as it's 1st and goal here for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
This is the game, 34 seconds left. Cleveland's calling their timeouts because they want an opportunity to get this ball back. But this is a huge opportunity if they can get a stop here.
And Roethlisberger delivers it, but he gets blown up on the play. Tries to find his man Antonio Brown, and that's going to be incomplete. Great throw by Roethlisberger. Just can't hang on to the ball.
Yeah, that was a nice read. You got to come down with that. I know I was just praising Antonio Brown, but you are the guy. You are the face of this wide receiver core. You have to make that play in this time of the game. This is 30 seconds left. This is time for you to shine. You cannot drop this pass.
It's going to be handoff to Kelly up the middle, and that's a touchdown by Pittsburgh. And they take the lead with less than 30 seconds left in a game they've trailed the entire time. What a turn of events here in Cleveland.
The second half, Steelers strike again. Big touchdown. They did leave some time on the board, though. They're going to be up 4 right now with that extra point. Good, 38-34. Does Cleveland have enough left in them to get in the end zone? Because a field goal no longer does it. That's why I said it was so important earlier. They were in field goal range, and they took that sack and got out of field goal range. If they would have had that field goal now, it'd be 38-37 with 2 timeouts. I'd feel a little bit more comfortable if I was Cleveland. But right now, as a Cleveland Browns fan, I'm thinking, okay, when's this interception coming? Because I feel like it's interception incoming right now for the Cleveland Browns.
What a turn of events here. And so now Jameis Winston and this Cleveland team that's played so well in this game finds themselves trailing by 4, 25 seconds left from their own 30-yard line. Bomber, I'm not sure if you believe in miracles, but we'll see if Cleveland can pull one up here. Jameis Winston is alone in the backfield, and Njoku inside, Gordon to his right, dropping back, and it looks like they're going to throw down to Gordon. Gordon's got room to run down the middle of the field, and he takes it down to the 46-yard line. They call their first timeout, and now they're getting in striking range, Bomber.
Yeah, that was a nice throw right there. He had to slant open a little bit earlier. I don't like how he waited and allowed him to kind of get to the middle of the field. I like the receiver to take complete control over the catch. When you put him in that situation, it doesn't give him much space to move. But Gordon makes a nice move and gets upfield, and now they're kind of in striking range. If they can get another 20 to 30 yards here and burn another timeout, they might have an opportunity to get a couple in the end zone.
Dropping back, time in the pocket. Ooh, pressure did come quicker than thought, and that's going to force them to use their timeout. And Pittsburgh comes up big there as Cleveland uses their last timeout. 13 seconds left in this game.
Yeah, that was one thing the offensive coordinator was in Jameis's ear saying, we cannot take a sack here. If you do not like what you see, throw the ball away. We need this timeout. Jameis takes a sack, and you know, it's kind of coming to fruition. It happened earlier to the Pittsburgh Steelers, but what they giveth and they taketh away, and what was happening earlier to Ben is now happening to Jameis, and he's in a tough situation, 2nd and 14 with 13 seconds left.
Looking to throw downfield. Time throwing. He's heaving it up into double coverage, and I think he gets the pass interference. Oh, my God.
Oh, my gosh. Defensive pass. And everything can't go wrong for Pittsburgh. It's not over yet. 7 seconds left as he jumps into the defense, and they're going to give him defensive pass interference. And this game is still a game, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
Wow, what do you do there?
But I don't know. I don't know, but 7 seconds here. Probably time for two throws. Can't take a sack here. Jameis Winston, empty backfield, and Njoku in line on the right-hand side. This is big, folks. Here we go. Cleveland looking to try to take control in this division from one that's been dominated by Pittsburgh. Winston looking to throw. Has time in the pocket. Throws across the middle.
Oh, my God! They got it!
Oh, my God.
You got to be kidding me. A horrible throw. Way too low.
Oh, my God. Do you believe in miracles?
That's how you beat the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Is in fact a miracle.
Wow. Can you believe that? Are you kidding me?
I'm speechless.
This is the game of the cycle. Unbelievable the amount of stuff Pittsburgh Steelers have had to deal with today. And they say home field advantage isn't a real thing. I would like to know the man who says that, because I have seen it completely be proven false today, because Cleveland, they have gotten some calls today.
Wow.
Why not squib it there?
I don't know. That seems like a bad play there, as that would have ended the game. Instead, they're going to let Javier Howard get out there, and Antonio Brown and Martavius Bryant, they're going to give him one play. And why not? I mean, we've seen everything in this game. Why not a last-second Hail Mary play? Maybe a pass interference call for Pittsburgh. Who knows? Bomber, this game's got me exhausted. It's had everything, and at this point, I just don't think I can do it.
And who's the better team? I mean, we've watched this game, and, man, you know, Cleveland looked good in the first half. Pittsburgh looked they're just so explosive, you know. It's one of those things where they can pretty much score at any point in the game at any time. But, man, Cleveland played them really tough today. I thought Pittsburgh would definitely come back and pull it out. It looked like they were. And Cleveland comes down and just really, I mean, some miracles so far as they're backing everybody off here in this cover 3 prevent.
And it's going to be a little drop off to Martavis Bryant. Bryant tries to make a man miss. He doesn't. And so, folks, the Pittsburgh Steelers had victory in their clutches. Can't hang on. Cleveland comes back to win this one. Some questionable officiating. That'll be the talk of the week. Nonetheless, Cleveland comes away 41-38 over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Bomber, it is time for NBL Live Player of the Game. A lot of good options out there. Myles Garrett comes to mind. Jameis Winston with the clutch drive at the end. Who do you have?
Oh, my gosh. Well, who do you got? I don't know, man. Jameis Winston played phenomenal, I thought. His ability to run, when he didn't like what he saw, he put a lot of pressure on the defense, and he came down and made some clutch reads at the end of the game. And that last throw, that low pass to Josh Gordon. Josh Gordon, maybe. Didn't he have 2 touchdowns? I
believe Josh Gordon did have 2. I mean, there were so many big plays.
And he came in for Corey Coleman when he got hurt. Man, that's probably where I'm at. I'm thinking Josh Gordon with the 2 touchdowns. He had the breakaway touchdown, and then he had a touchdown in the end zone that won the game. I mean, he was some sure hands for this Cleveland Browns offense that at a time where they desperately needed it because Pittsburgh was vamping up their offense.
Yeah, and so, folks, we are going to go ahead and go with the man who stepped in and made a big play. Josh Gordon is our NBL Live Game 171 Player of the Game. And all of you guys, make sure you tune in to our other broadcast here on NBL Live. I believe Commissioner Corner podcast will be tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Make sure you check that out. You may hear 1 or 2 comments about this game on there. For all of us here at NBL Live, I'm Sonny Weaver. Bomber, Hop, thanks everybody for tuning into the game. We'll see you next time.